Did you see what's going on? Obviously, you've seen what's going on in California. But the governor gave this creepy fucking speech where he was talking about speculators coming in and talking about what to do with the land of all these homes that have been burnt down while it's still only 6% contained. And he did this little dance like, I've been talking with these, with the governor of Hawaii about what to do. We've got some ideas. A speculator, we're gonna have some meetings. Like, he's doing
really?
This. Oh.
California Governor Gavin Newsom is now calling his city's homeless encampments unacceptable, which is odd since he's the guy who, made them acceptable, turning sidewalks into red carpet events for drug addicts, thieves, and unemployed CNN anchors. On Monday, he urged cities to ban the camps from sidewalks, parks, and other public areas. So after years of denying the problem, he's now pretending to fix it, which is like putting on a condom as you're leaving a whorehouse. Who hasn't?
It began with nothing more than a smug little grin, but by the end, it was absolute devastation. Somewhere in the chaos, Gavin Newsom couldn't even figure out which camera to look at. His panic was on full display. Joe Rogan stormed in, firing off facts like 100-pound kettlebells crashing to the floor. Then Greg Gutfeld followed, unleashing punchlines sharper than California's crushing tax hikes. What came next wasn't just a takedown, it was a live-fire implosion of policy and pride, burning right before everyone's eyes. And no, not even Newsom's infamous armor of hair gel could shield him from the flames. Buckle in. This wasn't a stumble. It was a total meltdown.
Nobody wants President Newsom either. Nobody believes in that guy. That guy's a f***ing con man. Everything he did in California, from trying to mandate vaccines for kids to being caught public without a mask and lying about the fact that he was outdoors.
Yeah.
Nobody believes in that guy. He's just a politician. Just a stone-cold, narrative-driven politician. Nobody thinks he's a real human. Whether you like Trump or not, whether you think he's corrupt or not, that's a human being. You know what that guy is. Same thing with RFK Jr. Whether you believe that he's correct about vaccines or whether you believe his policies would be effective, and that's a human being. With Newsom, you've got like this construct, this cardboard cutout of a person. I don't think people want that, but they might want it more than they want President Trump.
Cut to Gavin Newsom. The camera closes in like his hairline is about to broker a peace treaty with an overpriced bottle of conditioner. He's planted at the podium, oozing the aura of a man convinced the world simply can't get enough of him, and then, boom, the voiceover crashes down like a mic dropped straight from the heavens. Because once Rogan and Gutfeld locked onto California's self-crowned Prince of Sparkle, this stopped being a debate. It became a demolition in designer packaging. Less dialogue, more televised wrecking ball wrapped in flair.
But
Kennedy, I think the answer is yes, 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 yes.
Was it because of Israel? Yes. Interest rates? Yes. Too woke? Yes. It's like every bad policy that trickled up to the White House during the Biden administration started in California. That state is responsible for the worst politicians in modern history. And he is at the top of the list, and there are some ignoramuses on that list.
If you are enjoying this takedown, please hit that subscribe button. Let's talk about Gavin, the man who struts into every room like it's a high-fashion runway-themed big government, but make it glamorous. He's mastered the politician's triple threat, a toothpaste commercial grin, a TED Talk delivery, and a leadership style that glitches like bad Wi-Fi. On paper, he's the golden poster child of progressive power, overflowing with charisma, climate buzzwords, and just enough recycled paper in his suit pocket to snag another hollow award. But strip away the polish, and what's left? More theater than leadership.
Their houses have been burned, all their childhood memorabilia, all the stuff for their kids, the photos, the fucking everything they have is gone. All heirlooms, their mother's wedding ring, that kind of shit. Everything's burnt to the ground. And this guy's like standing in front of all this stuff, and he's got a smile on his face, and he's talking about land use.
The development plan.
Watch this.
Down in Hawaii, you had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just weeks.
And don't even get me started on his climate sermons. Gavin's got enough green policies to stock every shelf at Whole Foods. Yet California's power grid is so fragile, a mild breeze sends it into full-on cardiac arrest. Go electric, they cheer, right before warning people not to charge their cars from 4 to 9 p.m. because the sun decided to clock out early. The irony? Gas stoves are demonized while half the state cooks dinner by flashlight. This isn't progress, it's green energy theater, and the cast is stumbling around in the dark.
And he's the guy who thinks he's going to run for president when, you know, so much of the state is absolutely unlivable. And so every project that he's championed, he's now trying to demonize conveniently, and people are not that dumb. Like, people have been through it in his state. They are sick of him. They want him to leave. And maybe that's why so many people around him are like, you should totally run for president. So he gets out of the state.
Yes. Move away. Tyrus, did he leave out anything?
He didn't just leave California. He evacuated like a man who saw the simulation glitch and smashed escape. And honestly, who could blame him? When your backyard starts looking less like Malibu and more like the trailer for Fallout, even a sauna-obsessed elk hunting podcast king has to tap out. So Rogan shot down I-10 East and never looked back. He swapped smog and staged scripts for Texas freedom like a UFC champ ditching kale for raw protein. And he didn't slip away quietly. He packed the loudest mic on the planet, the Joe Rogan Experience. This isn't your aunt's podcast. With over 100 million listeners and an algorithm that haunts CNN's sleep, Rogan's weapon is simple. No filters, all fire, full throttle, and nothing lit up that trademark Rogan eye twitch faster than Newsom's lockdown logic. Meanwhile, Gavin was out whining and dining like it was the gourmet apocalypse. Rogan spotted the hypocrisy and blasted it so hard the French Laundry's reservation system nearly collapsed from shame.
With a big smile on his face. Look at the little wiggle he does with his shoulders. Speculator, watch this. Talking to John. Look at this little wiggle. It's excited about the possibilities of speculators coming in. And he's saying we're move forward. We're going to move forward on that. These people lost their homes. A lot of those people don't even have fire insurance because the fire insurance pulled out of California. I think like 69% of fire insurance pulled out of California because they're like, this is too crazy. Like, you guys aren't doing jack shit to manage this. You're not clearing the brush.
And Rogan didn't roll in solo. He brought the heavy artillery. Doctors, economists, and comedians armed with degrees in sarcasm, all sketching the same jaw-dropping picture. California's policies? They made less sense than a TikTok finance course taught by a cartoon filter. Small businesses were crushed into dust, while mega corporations cruised by untouched. Health guidelines felt like they came from a magic 8-ball. Vague, random, and always impossibly inconvenient. And every baffling decree was delivered with that blinding grin from a governor who acted like hair gel could rebuild public trust. Then came the tech exodus, a modern Oregon Trail, only with Teslas instead of covered wagons. Rogan didn't just talk about it, he lived it. He hauled his entire studio to Austin, where blackouts weren't part of the daily routine. California had turned hostile to innovation and allergic to free enterprise. And Rogan's most brutal strike didn't come from numbers or headlines, but from something sharper, cold, live reality.
So, while Californians have lost their homes and they're still suffering from the devastation, what does Gavin Newsom decide to do? Well, now is apparently the perfect time to try and boost his popularity and essentially promote himself. He's launched a podcast. I'll play you the trailer in just a moment, but take notice. Does the trailer that he shared with the world on X, does it even mention the most horrific fire catastrophe that occurred under his leadership, partly as a result of the decisions he was making, like cutting fire prevention? No, this is his chance to talk about his image, insisting that he's no ordinary politician.
Rogan didn't need to shout. He didn't need to embellish. He just grabbed the mic, looked around, and said what everyone with a working brain was already thinking. This isn't working. Then stormed Greg Gutfeld like a raccoon with a grudge and a thesaurus. He doesn't rant. He roasts. He slices through fakery with a grin, a one-liner, and a stare that could curdle almond milk on sight. Gutfeld is a 5-course demolition served with perfect hair and killer timing. He looked at Newsom's polished glow and voiced what millions already knew. The man looks like a fragrance ad, but governs like he's stuck in SimCity on nightmare mode. Gutfeld spelled it out. Newsom on the cover of Vanity Fair, built like he came out of a lab, while right behind him, tent cities, human waste, boarded up shops, and artisanal juice bars clinging to life beside total collapse. It's dystopia with a day spa twist. And Gavin, still grinning like he just solved homelessness with a scented candle and a daily mantra.
About anything? I think there's about 100 other reasons too.
Well, you can't, it's not his words when he speaks.
Yeah.
You have to watch him closely. And some genius decided not to film him any lower than the shoulder.
Yes, did you? Yes.
So what did he do?
You couldn't see the hands.
No, but he sent Morse code.
Yes.
Go back and watch it. Look at the blinking. Blink, look. Meet me at the house. Like, he's blinking. He's sending, I'm getting there. Hey, just so you know, I'm not wearing pants.
But Gutfeld didn't stop at the polished veneer. He went straight for the jugular. And that jugular? The media's Gavin obsession. Legacy outlets worship him like a recycled Kennedy clutching a reusable tote. The reality? Closer to crime-ridden chaos with a spray tan. Gutfeld's monologues didn't just earn laughs. They drew blood. He ripped into glowing headlines praising Gavin's bold leadership while everyday people were playing Russian roulette with gas prices, rent, and their sanity. Families couldn't even afford groceries. Yet, surprise, another fawning editorial about how dreamy his policies sound. Then came the climate comedy. Gutfeld hit full stride, a sniper wired on caffeine and truth. Solar panels, equity slogans, carbon neutral daydreams. It all sounds magical until you ask, who's paying? While working families drowned in fines and blackouts, bureaucrats cruised around in hybrids like extras in a green fairy tale. Charging stations, still a shimmering mirage on the horizon. Gutfeld didn't just call it out, he shredded it. This wasn't planet saving, it was face saving for Instagram.
When Gavin Newsom talks about California, he's like, I'm very big on California, very bullish on California. Hey, they're all moving. The only reason why they don't move is because it's too difficult to move. It's too expensive to leave versus all the bullshit with all the permits and all that. It's too expensive. Believe that he's correct about vaccines or whether you believe his policies would be effective. And that's a human being. With Newsom, you've got like this construct, this cardboard cutout of a person. I don't think people want that, but they might want it more than they want President Trump.
Then came the most savage strike, the presidential fantasy. Whispers of 2028 circle Gavin like incense in a yoga studio. But Gutfeld isn't buying it, not for a heartbeat. He skewers the idea that a governor who can't manage one state is magically qualified to run the nation. He's running all right, Gutfeld quips, but it's away from accountability, not toward office. The jokes practically write themselves. Newsom's White House dream is like franchising a restaurant that failed its last 3 health inspections. The neon sign may glow bright, but the kitchen's crawling, the freezer's broken, and the Yelp reviews are written in fire. Gutfeld's demolition wasn't just funny, it was lethal because every punchline carried a truth too jagged for Gavin's PR machine to polish. And then, boom, the crossover nobody saw coming but everyone secretly craved. Joe Rogan and Greg Gutfeld collided like wrecking balls from opposite ends, slamming into the hologram known as Gavin Newsom. Rogan brought the receipts, Gutfeld brought the flames, and together they exposed the brutal reality. Newsom's leadership doesn't just miss the target, it erases it.
Runs for national office, he acts like a Republican. This is where the left is really pro-trans. Suddenly, they grow balls.
Rogan didn't need to yell. He didn't froth at the mouth or stage a spectacle. He just spoke in that calm, steady voice that lands harder than any scream. People are leaving. Businesses are fleeing. Homelessness is exploding. I moved for a reason. That quiet delivery hits like a sledgehammer wrapped in a TED Talk. He's not cracking jokes. And that's exactly what makes it devastating. Then Gutfeld charges in. Same precision, different flavor. Where Rogan calmly unpacks the collapse, Gutfeld storms in like a stand-up comic reading the most absurd government script ever written, line by line, with a look that screams, "You believe this nonsense?" Rogan connects with the thinkers, the independents, the logic-hungry crowd. Gutfeld hooks the skeptics, the eye-rollers, the people who stopped trusting TV news back when hope and change morphed into chaos and charge cards. Rogan's fans bring charts and interviews. Gutfeld's crew just points at the flaming dumpster fire and shrugs. Told you.
California Governor Gavin Newsom has been facing major calls to resign over his appalling handling of the deadly California wildfires. And just to quickly recap, these were the most destructive wildfires the state has ever seen. More than 16,000 properties were destroyed. The cost of the fires is estimated to be more than $200 billion. And for businesses in LA County, the future is looking grim. It's projected businesses will continue to lose billions of dollars over the next 5 years due to disruption.
But no matter their approach, Rogan with calm conviction or Gutfeld with blazing sarcasm, they both landed on the same brutal truth. Newsom isn't leading, he's performing. And the reviews? 2 massive thumbs down. This isn't ordinary failure, it's failure with flair. Gavin's like a movie trailer that promises the world, then delivers 90 minutes of slow motion confusion and empty calories. Rogan and Gutfeld saw straight through it from opposite corners of the ring, shredding that illusion piece by piece. He's the human version of all style, no substance. Endless speeches, zero solutions. And when Rogan and Gutfeld teamed up to rip off that glossy mask, it was like watching 2 very different mechanics dismantle the same busted machine. One with a wrench, the other with a chainsaw. And here's the shocker, the reaction wasn't divided like usual. For once, people from every side joined the same outrage chorus.
You know, when I went there, I had a great relationship with President Xi. We got along very well. And they treated me better than anybody has ever been treated. And I said, this air is good. Do you know they closed every factory 1 week before I got there from within 200 miles?
That's like what Gavin Newsom did when Xi Jinping came to San Francisco.
He cleaned it up.
He cleaned it up. He got rid of all
Isn't
the
that
homeless
terrible
people.
in a way? To think, you know, he cleaned it up and then it became a pigsty.
Well, the dumbest thing is he said when your friends come by, when you have visitors, you clean up your house. Like, how about just keep your fucking house clean?
Can you imagine?
It's the dumbest thing I've ever
I
heard.
keep bringing up Gavin. Well, other than my respect for his work in American Psycho, he's starting to distance himself from his party's worst ideas. Newsom, a guy who hates fossil fuels but could still bring down the price of gas by wringing out his hair, once proclaimed that his state would be a sanctuary to all who seek it.
Suddenly, it was like the political planets aligned. Libertarians, conservatives, burned out millennials, disillusioned hipsters, even that barista who swore off politics after the last election. They were all nodding together. Different views, same reaction. The realization hit. Maybe the real crisis wasn't just bad leadership. Maybe the true pandemic was political theater. And just when it seemed it couldn't go further, the final montage rolled in like a knockout punch in slow motion. By then, it wasn't about who won. It was about what got exposed. Gavin Newsom didn't just get called out, he got decoded. The curtain ripped back, revealing nothing but flash, filters, and fake solutions. Rogan might drop an episode titled Why California Still Sucks Volume 2. Gutfeld could spin the chaos into a comedy sketch called Gavin's Glamorous Gutter Tour. And Newsom? Will he reflect on the takedown, maybe change course? Of course not. He'll probably snap a selfie next to a wind turbine and caption it Leadership in Action, because that's the show. And Gavin, he never stops performing.